You are watching the Wednesday edition of Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look now at the news making headlines. First up, exams in the Northwest province starts off smoothly with no obstacles recorded, and the DA calls for the Matlosana CFO'S suspension as criminal investigations continue. In the business news, the Northwest Development Cooperation releases quarterly economic report, and in the sports news, National Recreation Day set to energize Sun City. We begin here. The Northwest Department of Education has reported that it had a smooth start to the 2025 NSC examinations. On Tuesday, 2,760 registered National Senior Certificates candidate for Computer Applications Technology wrote well in 89 schools across the province. The paper was well monitored and all schools were covered. Now, there are no major challenges that were reported during the writing of today's papers in all these centers. Let's get more.
Ke jaaka fa barutwana ba le dikete di le 2,760 ba ne ba kwala pampiri ya bone ya ntlha ya Computer Application Technology mo dikolong di le 89 go ralala porofense, le fa ba kwadile sentle go sa nna le ketsaetsego epe kwa disenthareng tsa barutwana ba kwalelang kwa go tsone. Mokhuduthamaga wa lefapha mo porofenseng Viola Muthusamy a re seno se mo itumedisitse thata le fa e le sesupo sa gore barutwana ba bona tshegetso e maleba gore ba falole ditlhatlhobo. Sebueledi sa lefapha la thuto mo porofenseng ke Vuyo Mantshule.
MEC Muthusamy conveyed her satisfaction with smooth start of examination process in all these 89 schools. It is promising to mention that our learners are receiving necessary support to excel in their examination. We extend our best wishes for their continued success as they progress, and we remain committed to ensuring that every learner is given fair and equitable opportunity to attain their academic aspiration in these examinations, says MEC Muthusamy. Tomorrow morning, candidates will sit for a 3-hour information paper technology, of which is paper 1 from 9 o'clock in the morning.
In other news, the Democratic Alliance in the city of Matlosana says it is deeply concerned about the ongoing instability within the municipality's administration, driven by persistent power struggles between the municipal manager and the chief financial officer. These internal battles have severely affected the functioning of the municipality and service delivery to residents. The executive mayor, Fikile Mhlophe, must now show decisive leadership to resolve these divisions and restore stability within the administration. The DA has noted with grave concern several recent press releases issued by the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation and the National Prosecuting Authority's Asset Forfeiture Unit regarding investigations into the CFO and 5 others. These developments confirm long-standing suspicions that certain service providers have been receiving preferential treatment under the CFO's watch. DA caucus leader in the city of Matlosana local municipality, Johannes Lagransi, had this to say.
The Democratic Alliance in the city of Matlosana is deeply concerned about the ongoing instability within the municipality's administration, driven by persistent power struggles between the municipal manager, Lisego Siametsu, and the CFO, Mercy Mapetla. These internal battles have severely affected the functioning of the municipality and service delivery to residents. The Executive Mayor Councillor Fikile Mhlophe must now show some decisive leadership to resolve these divisions and restore stability within the administration. The DA assures the residents and taxpayers of Matlosana that we will continue to act in the best interest by holding officials accountable and demanding clean, transparent, and responsible governance.
In more news, today marks the final day of the one-on-one meetings with municipalities in the Dr. Ruth Segomotsi Mompati district. The focus for today is on the Greater Taung local municipality, concluding with the Dr. RSM district municipality. These sessions address service delivery challenges through the municipal support and intervention plan, which ensures progress, tracking and compliance with the updates submitted to the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. The discussions also aim to reinforce good governance principles in accordance with Section 154 of the Constitution, which supports municipal capacity building. As part of today's one-on-one engagements, a representative shared key insights on the progress and challenges facing local municipalities. Let's take a listen to what was shared during these sessions.
We allocated an additional grants to the tune of 20 million for MIG and also for WISIC another additional funds for 20 million. This was as a result of the teamwork in terms of the project management unit that works together with the office of the municipal manager together with the turnaround team in trying to make sure that we are improving and turning things around. So you then realize, Chairperson, that as things are now in terms of the service delivery, projects are currently running, and we are able then to positively report that some of the projects are at the completion stage. We realize, Chairperson, that despite the fact that we allocated those additional funds of 20 million for WISIC and also 20 million for RP, by the end of June, those particular grants were already spent at 100% in terms of our financial statement. So we did not have any application or from a rollover. So it tells you that the planning of the municipality is now up to standard, and we are able then to move forward in terms of
And on to this now, MEC for Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs, MEC Molapisi, officially launched the Human Settlements MUNIMEC for the 7th administration in Rustenburg. Addressing the launch, MEC Molapisi highlighted the MUNIMEC Forum is established in line with intergovernmental relations framework and will sit on a quarterly basis as an important platform for the provincial department and local government to share information and discuss challenges confronting the sector.
On issues of human settlement. You would remember that this follows a commitment we made during the roadshow program that we undertook with the MEC for Treasury, MEC Musenohi, and Salga, where we said we would need to consider having a separate platform as provided for in the Constitution in terms of your intergovernmental relations framework, so that we are able to discuss issues between various spheres of government. We had a meeting of COGTA where many of us participated in, but we are mainly focusing on issues related to municipalities and the role of the provincial government. And we agreed that we must have a separate meeting. But we also announced during our budget speech that we'll convene this meeting on a quarterly basis to address issues of human settlement. And we do this as a way of collaboration on also ensuring that there is an integrated plans and budget to achieve the sustainable human settlement.
To the story now, the National Prosecuting Authority in the Northwest Division has welcomed a hefty sentence imposed on 40-year-old offender Seilane by the Northwest High Court. The sentencing was delivered yesterday following his conviction on charges of murder, rape, and robbery with aggravating circumstances. The conviction stems from a tragic incident that occurred back in November 2023 at the Lekoko village near Mahikeng, where the lifeless body of Elizabeth Seilane was discovered by her grandchildren inside a bedroom. Investigations revealed that Seilane, who had been left home with the deceased, strangled and sexually assaulted her before stealing her bank card. He was later seen at a local tavern using the deceased bank card to make purchases. The court agreed with the state's submission and imposed the following sentences: life imprisonment for murder, life imprisonment for rape, 15 years imprisonment for robbery with aggravating circumstances, and all sentences will run concurrently. In more news, the South African parliamentary inquiry is currently underway to investigate widespread corruption, maladministration, and financial mismanagement at the Road Accident Fund. The defunct private medical facility Sunshine Hospital is a central feature of the investigation after it was forced to close due to the RAF failing to pay over 300 million in invoices for treating road accident victims. The Standing Committee on Public Accounts launched the Enhanced Oversight Inquiry back in July following numerous reports of misconduct at the RAF. The hearings began in October and are expected to continue through November. SCOPA chairperson Songezo Zibi gave insight on the principles that inform how the parliamentary hearing is being conducted.
We do, firstly, and I'll say what decisions we need to consider here. But there are several principles that inform how we are doing this, that everyone who is going to appear before the committee has the benefit of the same documents that we have. And that is anything that the Road Accident Fund has sent to us, anything that has been submitted by the public to us. And
as South Africa commemorates Black Wednesday on the 19th of October, the University of South Africa, in partnership with the National Press Club and the Qoboza family, is hosting the 15th annual Percy Qoboza Memorial Lecture tonight at UNISA's main campus in Pretoria. Black Wednesday marks the day 1977 when the apartheid regime banned the World newspaper and detained its editor Percy Qoboza, along with other journalists and activists. This brutal crackdown on media freedom remains one of the darkest chapters in South Africa's press history, yet it also galvanized a generation of truth-tellers and defenders of democracy. This year's lecture theme, From Qoboza to the Digital Age, Journalism, Justice, and the Global Fight for Truth, invites reflection on the enduring relevance of Qoboza's ideal and evolving role of media in shaping democratic societies. Established in 2010, Qoboza's voice became a beacon of resistance during apartheid and continues to inspire journalists and scholars globally. In international news, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today as part of a diplomatic visit aimed at reinforcing the fragile ceasefire agreement in Gaza and exploring long-term regional stability. Standing side by side during a joint press briefing, Netanyahu firmly rejected the notion that Israel is a client state of the United States, calling the idea hogwash. Now, the leaders discussed expanding the Abraham Accord, which Vance described as a pathway to lasting peace and economic cooperation across the region. The meeting also touched on post-war reconstruction efforts in Gaza and the need to disarm Hamas. Vance's visit comes amid renewed tension following recent attacks near the Gaza border. Both leaders acknowledged the challenges ahead but expressed commitment to maintaining stability and security. At the joint briefing, Netanyahu said that U.S. and Israel were transforming the Middle East.
In the last year, we've had an unmatched alliance and partnership with the United States. That is changing the Middle East, and it's also changing the world. It creates opportunities not only for security, but for the expansion of peace, which we're working on very, very diligently. And it's just unmatched.
There was a promise for massive scale-up and 600 trucks per day. Now average is between 200 to 300. So that's not really what we expected. And the other problem is crossings. We need multiple crossings, all available crossings.
And with that, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, the Northwest Development Cooperation has published its 2025-26 first quarter economic outlook, offering a comprehensive snapshot of the province's economic performance and strategic direction. Now, the report highlights both opportunities and challenges across key sectors with a renewed focus on infrastructure investment and industrial diversification. Mining and agriculture continue to anchor the Northwest economy, jointly contributing to a significant portion to the province's GDP. According to the reports, the Northwest accounted for 5.9% of South Africa's national GDP in 2024, with platinum group metals maize leading the charge. However, structural challenges persist. The mining sector faces global price volatility and regulatory hurdles, while agriculture is grappling with climate-related risks and aging infrastructure. To address these constraints and unlock new growth, the NWDC is spearheading infrastructure investment initiatives aimed at upgrading transport and logistics corridors, expanding industrial parks and special economic zones, supporting digital innovation hubs in Matlosana and Rustenburg. These efforts are designed to attract private investment and improve the province's competitiveness in mineral extractions and agro-processing. In more business news, the Northwest Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism, through its Integrated Economic Development Services Directorate, is facilitating a week-long business training course for small, medium and micro enterprises in Morokweng village. This initiative forms part of the department's ongoing commitment to nurturing entrepreneurship and driving inclusive economic growth across the province. The training program is designed to equip small business owners with essential skills and knowledge to run sustainable and competitive enterprises. Key focus areas include business management, financial planning, marketing strategy development, cost and keeping records, and pitching techniques. These components are critical for building a resilient business capable of scaling operations and entering broader markets. The participating business presents a diverse range of sectors, including bakeries, organic vegetable farming, tuck shops, fast food outlets, and cosmetics. Many of these enterprises operate in informal setting and are now being equipped with formal business practices to enhance their growth potential. And on to this, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has officially entered the browser wars with the launch of Atlas, a new AI-powered web browser designed to revolutionize the users interact with the internet. Now, Atlas is not just another browser, it's built around ChatGPT, turning your browsing experience into a conversation. Instead of relying on traditional address bar, Atlas uses a conversational interface that allows users to ask questions, get summaries, and interact with websites naturally. Atlas positions OpenAI as a direct competitor to Google Chrome, which currently holds over 70% of the global browser market. By embedding AI into the browser itself, OpenAI hopes to redefine how people search, work, and learn online. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman unveiled the AI web browser and gave more insight into the model.
Good morning. Today, we're going to launch ChatGPT Atlas, our new web browser. This is an AI-powered web browser built around ChatGPT. It's something we've been super excited about and working hard on for a long time, and really excited to share with you today. We think that AI represents like a rare once-a-decade opportunity to rethink what a browser can be about and how to use one and how to sort of most productively and pleasantly use the web. Tabs were great, but we haven't seen a lot of browser innovation since then, so we got very excited about the opportunity to really rethink what this could be. And in the same way that for the previous way people use the internet, the URL bar of a browser and the search box were a great analog, the way that we hope people will use the internet in the future, and that we're starting to see, is that the chat experience and a web browser can be a great analog. So we got to work designing a browser based around this kind of experience. The browser is already where a ton of work and sort of life happens, and we think that by having ChatGPT be sort of a core way to help you use that you can chat with a page, you can use ChatGPT to find stuff, you can use an agent mode with ChatGPT in a browser, way more stuff that we'll show you and you can try out later. We can take this pretty far. So we are excited to jump into a demo. Have some colleagues here. We'll start with Ben for introductions, and then we'll show you what we got.
Great, thanks, Sam. I'm Ben, I lead engineering for Atlas. So Atlas started with a question. What if you could chat with your browser? And from that idea, we reimagined the entire experience, replacing years of clutter and complexity with simple conversation. We wanted to make sure that Atlas didn't feel like your old browser, just with a chat button that was bolted on. But instead, we made ChatGPT the beating heart of Atlas. It's always by your side and ready to help as you move across the web. I find that when I use Atlas myself, I'm more curious. I ask more questions. I think it's made me, just like I said, a more curious, better informed person. We also made sure that Atlas is fast and flexible enough to support some amazing new experiences that we'll show you shortly. It's a new kind of browser for the next era of the web, and we can't wait to show you what it can do. So Adam, do you want to take us through some of the features?
Yes, my name's Adam, product lead for Atlas. And as Sam and Ben mentioned, a little bit about why we built Atlas, I'm going to share a little bit about what Atlas is. So first, Atlas should feel very familiar. So it has all of your tabs, bookmarks, autofill for password, all the things you're used to. And then there's three special core features of Atlas that Ryan's going to walk you through in a bit. The first is chat comes with you anywhere as you go on the web. So no longer do you have to copy and paste between tabs when you're working on writing an email or a document. As you have that website up, it'll just be right there for you if you invoke it, and it'll have context of what you're working on, so it can be more helpful. That's chat anywhere across the web. The second big feature is browser memory. And we talked a lot about this when we were building it, but memory is such a critical feature in ChatGPT that people and users love today. And that's because as you use ChatGPT more, it just gets more personalized and helps you better and understands you much better. Now that's going to happen as you go on your browser across the web in Atlas. And it just should be more personalized and more helpful to you. And then the third, which we're really excited about, and Justin's going to show this later, is Agent, which is in Atlas, ChatGPT now can take actions for you. It can do things. So it'll actually bring up a little cursor, start clicking around when you ask it to. It can help you book reservations or flights, or even just edit a document that you're working on.
And that's all from the business news. Your sports update follows next. In sporting news, the Northwest Department of Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation is gearing up to host the 2025 edition of the National Recreation Day at the iconic Sun City Resort on Sunday. The event promises a vibrant celebration of active living, community wellness and inclusive participation under the theme Recreation for All, Wellness for Life. National Recreation Day is a flagship initiative of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture observed annually across South Africa to promote physical activity and healthy lifestyles. This year's Northwest celebration will bring together thousands of participants from all walks of life, including schools, community groups, senior citizens, and people with disabilities for a day packed with fun and fitness. And on to cricket news now. South Africa has surged ahead in the second test against Pakistan thanks to the best performances from Kagiso Rabada and Muthusamy. The Proteas now hold a 71-run lead after a dramatic turnaround on day 3 at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. Rabada, batting at number 11, stunned the crowd with a blistering 71-run knock, his maiden test 50, while Muthusamy anchored the innings with an unbeaten 89. Their partnership not only rescued South Africa from a dangerous position, but also shifted momentum in favor of the visitors. Pakistan had earlier dominated the series, winning the first test in Lahore by 93 runs, but today's performance marks the first time that the hosts find themselves chasing the game. The Proteas ended day 2 at 185 for 4, trading Pakistan's first total innings of 333. With the lower order stepping up, South Africa now looks poised to level the series. And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be standing by tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.